was so distracted by the little cat. I'm a stamper, not a blender. Please don't let me down. Hopefully this doesn't ruin the whole eye look. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. And welcome back to another episode of Vlogmas. Oh my gosh, Bert just discovered his Santa hat that I put next to him. That's right, Bertram, this is a special Vlogmas episode. That's why I put your good kitty Santa hat out. Anyway, I'm super excited to be here. If you missed my first episode of Vlogmas, I explained that my Vlogmas comes with an asterisk next to it, meaning that, well, I intend to post every day leading up until Christmas. I may miss a few days here or there because I will be prioritizing my mental health, and if I have a day where I'm overwhelmed and I feel like I can't post a video, I'm gonna allow myself that day. But regardless, I'm gonna be posting a frick ton of videos throughout December, so I highly recommend that you subscribe. Smack that bell notification so you don't miss a single time that I upload. I got another sweet smelling candle with me here today. I know in the last video I had my chestnut praline latte. Today I was feeling the key lime pie. You know, I got a lot of pastels going on today. Pastel on the sweatshirt, pastel in the candle. I got my little pastel donut earrings that my sweet friend Kate gave to me. They're so cute. They're donuts with little flowers on them. I am literally screaming, I feel so cute today, but that's not what this video is about. You did not click on this video to find out how many cute pastel items I have on my person today. No, you clicked on this video because you, like me, have an interest in the SUGARPILL mini color palette. I just noticed that online this palette is referred to as the fun size palette, so if you're looking for it for yourself, it might not be listed as the mini color palette, it is the fun size palette. I've always been so curious about SUGARPILL's formula. I've heard nothing but incredible things about their mattes, and this is an all matte palette, which is like a little different for me. You know, you guys know I'm a shimmery lady, I'm a glittery lady, but I'm super excited because look at how vibrant these pastels are. I don't know if you could consider the red a pastel. Maybe the red's not a pastel. I don't know. I guess we'll see when we put it on the eyes. But enough chatting. Let's get into the application. So, if that sounds like a topic that is interesting to you and you want to see me try the SUGARPILL mini color palette with a cute little cat on the front, then I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching because it's coming at you right now. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you in so you can really see the application of these colors. I am so excited for this. Here's another zoom in of the palette itself. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I'm gonna do a couple swatches just because I'm curious what they feel like. Ooh, okay. Feeling very buttery here. This is my first time even touching the palette. This is truly a first impressions here. Ooh, okay, looking super buttery, just as vibrant as they look in the pan. I'm gonna swatch in the front of my palm because my hand is so Sahara Desert dry, you don't even wanna know. Okay, so let's do some swatches here. Let's see, I'll swatch them all and then judge them. All right, definitely looking a little more washed out, obviously, than on my finger, but I'm interested to see how we can build them up on the eye. A lot of times I think when we look at swatches, we are looking to see how pigmented something is. I honestly really feel like that's all swatches tell you because obviously we don't always apply shadows like this when we're doing them on our eyes, especially with mattes. I don't always mind a shadow that's not super pigmented if it's something that can be built up easily. All right, so in order to give these pastels their best opportunity to thrive, I'm going to prime my eyes with my NYX Jumbo eye pencil in the shade Milk, just a nice creamy white eye pencil. One of my subscribers recommended this to me one time, and honestly I was blown away by how much more vibrant the pastels look over a white base, so I definitely want to set these shades up for success here. Alright, I'm all primed and ready. Honestly, this is kind of a look in itself. I'm feeling very Snow Princess right now, but that's not what this video is about. We gotta put the palette on. I'm gonna dive into the shades that I tend to favor first, which if you couldn't guess, if you're a member of my channel that's been following me for a while, can you guess what shades are my favorite in this palette? I don't know, it's kind of tough to guess, but yeah, this bottom row here, oh my gosh, these freaking shades, periwinkles, purples, and teals are my absolute favorite. So I'm gonna dip into the shade Cheat Code first, which, like you saw with the swatches, looked really pigmented on my finger, didn't look that pigmented swatched, so let's see how it goes on the eyes. I'm just gonna start by stamping it. If this is your first video of mine, this is kind of the method I like. I'm a stamper, not a blender. I like really bold pigmented colors, and I find that stamping stamping gives you that. And holy freaking wow, that went on so nicely. I'm so glad that that went on super pigmented on the eye, way more so than it did when I swatched it. And I love that it's like purely teal, because I have a couple of teal shades that look teal in the pan, then when you put them on your eyes, they pull darker. Like they pull definitely more like a deeper turquoise, where this is like a pure teal. So wow, okay, we're off to a hot start here. Oh my goodness. I don't want to put too much of that color on because I want to use as many colors as I can. So we're going to move on to the next color now. I'm going to dip into the shade 8-Bit here. I like that these are all like gamer names. I'm not a gamer myself. I don't know anything. I don't know what an 8-bit means, but I do know that it is a gaming term because the other names are also gaming things. One of the shades is called Game Over, one of them is called Twitch, Level Up, High Score. You gamers get it. You gamers tell me what an 8-bit is and I can feel in the loop too. Could I Google it? Absolutely, but I would rather converse with you, you know? Sometimes I will just ask questions in the video and I'm sure you're sitting there wondering like, why wouldn't she just search that? She's sitting directly in front of her laptop. She could search it right now. But why do that when I could have a fun conversation with you? Also, Google explains things in such a like matter-of-fact way, like, oh yes, this is the answer to the thing. And I'd rather have a person answer me and be like, hey, queen. Nobody says that anymore. Hey pal, here's the answer and I'm saying it in a really cute and fun way, and now we're talking and now I have a new friend. Anyway, enough about that. This shade is performing just as beautifully as the first one did. I'm really hoping that this formula is just going to be consistent through and through because I am loving it so far. Have you guys tried Sugarpill before? Is their formula consistent among different palettes? Like, I know they have the capsule collection, which is really popular. I'm always roasting those in my anti-hauls because I think the packaging is a little strange, but I'm curious, is it the same formula as like these types of palettes? Also, let me know how their shimmers are because obviously I'm trying all mattes today, but if you tell me their shimmers are good, then I'll look into some other palettes. Okay, so next I'm gonna go into the shade Player One, which is the purple shade, my favorite color to wear on my eyes. Please don't let me down. Oh, and I'm not let down at all. Upon first stamp, it's immediately super freaking pigmented. Holy moly. I'm dipping in a lot, but here's the thing. It doesn't even really need to be built up. Just when you're doing this stamping motion, you tend to have to do that. You know, if you're a blender, not a stamper, unlike me, the opposite of me at that, then you probably don't need to dip into the pan as many times as I am. Just when you're stamping, you know, you run out of stuff to stamp, or you get less of an even application when you're stamping if you don't dip in a bunch of times. But honestly, I do all of my eyeshadow looks by stamping, and I've panned very few eyeshadows, so it really doesn't cause you to use up the product all that much faster. Purples are hard to formulate too. Purples are my favorite color to wear on the eyes, but they're also the color that I have the most issues with on the eyes, showing up patchy. Just because I have heard from different makeup brands, people who make their own makeup, that purples are tough to formulate. So, you know, very impressed with this purple so far. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the shade Rage Quit, which is this pink. You can see there's two pinks here that look pretty similar. In person, they look a little less similar, like the center shade Level Up is definitely peachier, and Rage Quit is definitely more of like a true hot pink. Do you think there's enough of a difference between the two to justify them both being in here? I kind of want to put the peachier pink as a blush. I purposefully am not wearing any blush today. I just have my bronzer and highlight on because I thought it would be fun to try one of the pinks as a blush. Wow. This shade though, you know what? I'm not even gonna wing out my eyeshadow shape today because I kind of like how I accidentally made it rounded. So I think I'm gonna keep it like this, and then I'll go in with some white water activated liner afterwards and, you know, outline the whole thing. Ooh, that could be so fun. Okay, but yeah, so we're gonna call it on that pink, which is freaking gorgeous. Oh my gosh, and look how it melted into the purple. I'm really impressed with this so far. Now we're gonna move on to the other eye so we can do these beautiful shades. Okay, now I think with this one, rather than starting with the red on the inner corner, I'm gonna start with this green, this pretty kind of minty pastel, very matcha green, an oat milk matcha latte green, but I wanna put that on the inner portion of my eye, that way it's light on the inside, and then we're gonna work out to the more bold red. Okay, this doesn't look like all that much on the brush, but let me not judge until I get it on the eye. Okay, definitely the least vibrant shade I've seen so far, I think, but let me build it up a little bit. Okay, spoke too soon. These are definitely some pastels that you can build up to be more vibrant if you want. But if you're not like me and you like your pastels to truly be like mostly white, I think you could also achieve that with these, because as you could see from that first layer, it was not showing up a lot. Like, it really was a wash. And also remember, I'm stamping, I'm not blending, so these really seem like you can customize your vibrancy with them. Oh, that's so pretty. I want to put that all over my eye, but I won't. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the shade Continue, which looks like kind of a mustardy pastel. Honestly, kind of a fun choice for a rainbow pastel palette to not go with a pastel yellow, but instead go with a mustardy yellow. Also, I should mention this palette never claimed to be like a pastel palette. It's not calling itself like the Pastel Dreams palette. I have the description right in front of me too, and it doesn't even say anything about being pastel. I purely am putting that onto the palette by looking at it. So if you at any point feel like that's not really pastel, blame me. Don't blame Sugarpill. They did not claim to be pastel, but in my humble opinion, there's quite a few pastels in here. But the shade Continue does not look like it's gonna be one of them. Hopefully this doesn't ruin the whole eye look. Let's see. I take it back. I love it. Holy wow. It's almost like a chartreuse. Would you guys call this chartreuse? I kind of feel like it's a lighter chartreuse. Like, I have a chartreuse. How many times can I say chartreuse in this video? I have the Shroud X Batty Bean It's Freaking Bats palette, and that has a chartreuse in it, the shade Trappa, and that is definitely deeper than this. Beautifully pigmented too. All right, moving on to the shade High Score, which is this beautiful looking orange. Okay, similar to the green, not a lot got picked up on my brush despite me kind of digging it in there, but you know, that's okay. These shades seem to be buildable, so let's see if I can build. This is definitely giving more of a pastel orange to me. Like, I'm already building it up and making it less pastel because I'm trying to match the energy of the colors next to it, but this is like a true pastel orange. If you don't build it up, definitely a pastel, which I did not expect. Okay, so now we're moving on to our last shade on this eye, which is gonna be the red shade, which is called Game Over, and I'm not expecting this to be pastel at all. I was just thinking when I was applying the last shade, like, I don't even think there's such a thing as a pastel red, because isn't a pastel by nature just like a shade with a white base? So wouldn't a pastel red just be pink? Color theorists, help me out. Look, I made a mistake because I was thinking too hard about colors. This is a good red though. It's definitely a true red. On camera, it's pulling a little orange, I think because it's right next to the orange, but in person, like, this is not an orange leaning red or a blue leaning red. It's definitely just like a true neutral red. Well, I guess there's no such thing as a neutral red because red is warm tone, but you know what I mean. All right, so here are the eyes basically done here. I don't know if I'm gonna put anything on the lower lash line. I kind of just want these top colors to pop, but like I mentioned, I am gonna go in and use that center pink shade, the more peachier pink. The shade is called Level Up, so cute, and we're gonna use that as a blush. You know what, let's just swatch these two pinks next to each other because I'm really curious if there's any detectable difference. I really don't think there would be on the eyes, which is why I didn't want to waste a space. Okay, so this is our more peachier pink, the shade Level Up. Ooh, they have a nice sheen to them despite being mattes. And then this is our other pink shade, which I forget the name of. Rage Quit. Okay, that's Rage Quit. Honestly, even swatch next to each other, I mean, obviously, we see their different undertones. She's peachier, she's more of a hot pink. We get it. On the eyes, do I think that would be any different? No, I really don't think so at all. I'll even prove it to you. Ugh, it's okay. I can just add a little bit. I'm not going to ruin the eye look or anything, but I do just want to demonstrate why I think it's unnecessary to put colors that are that close together in the same palette. So I'm just taking the tiniest little bit of the shade Level Up, and I'm going to put it next to the other pink shade so you can see how they just blend together. See, it's no different. If anything, it added a little bit of warmth. I'm taking the other side of my brush and adding a little bit more of Rage Quit just so you can really see the two of the shades next to each other. I just don't think it's worth having a space in there. Personally, I would have preferred a true pastel yellow. I love the chartreuse. I love this kind of mustardy yellow they have in here, but I would have preferred they saved this extra pink for maybe a more pastel yellow. They could have thrown just a white in there, you know, that way you could, you know, adjust your shades if you wanted to do some blending or make anything more pastel. What do you think they could have done else? Maybe they just felt like they ran out of colors of the rainbow, so they just threw another pink in there because a lot of people like like pink. Pink's very popular. But enough of me complaining about these shades being too similar. Now I'm going to wear this middle shade here, Level Up, as blush. And I'm gonna really try not to get the other shades on it. I was just reading on the website that these shades are not approved for use in the immediate eye area, which is funny after I've already put them on my eyes. But I read somewhere that the FDA hasn't updated their makeup guidelines in something like 50 or 60 years. So, you know, I'll let you know if my eyeballs fall out or if I get a rash or anything, but right now I feel fine, so but just letting you know. Okay, I'm gonna brush some of this off in the back of my hand because I have a feeling this is gonna be a pigmented blush since it's a pressed pigment. Oh, okay. Yes, she's showing up. We see her. All right. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It works fine enough as a blush, but I don't think you're gonna reach for this over any of your regular blush formulas because it's just not the most even application, and that's not this palette's fault. Like, even though they say it's not for use around the immediate eye area, we know that's really what it's for. We know that's really what it's for. So, like, I'm not mad at it for not being the best blush here. It's not really patchy. It's just kind of like hard to get on evenly because it's so pigmented, but I do like this color. The color, honestly, even though I was complaining about the undertones not being enough of a difference, this little peachy pink is a nice tie-in for these two different eye looks. Dang it, Sugarpill, I forgive you for the similar pink colors. Still think you could have put a pastel yellow in there, but you know, whatever. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is throw on a little bit of white eyeliner real quick, just because I think it'll complete the look, and then I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. All right, and here you have it. Here's the look. I went with something a little funky on the eyes today. I did a little bit of like a curvy liner in the front. I don't know, I just felt a little fancy. If you're curious, I used the Glisten Cosmetics Split Liner in Coke Float. Obviously, I used the white side. Really great white eyeliner formula if you wanna check it out. I just did a video reviewing all those split liner palettes, but that's not what this video is about. Look at the finished look. I love the way it turned out. These colors are so vibrant. I mean, I feel like you already know what my final thoughts are gonna be. I give the palette a 10 out of 10. You know what? I give it a 9.5 out of 10 because I do still feel like they could have done something a little more exciting between these two pink shades. If I didn't tell you that I was wearing two different shades of pink, you'd probably think I was just wearing one. But other than that, the palette gets a 10 out of 10. Formula, incredibly easy to use, super buildable, which I absolutely love. They're really beautifully vibrant, but if you want them to, you can just go in with a single layer and get a nice wash of pastel, which is really great. And they're just really user-friendly, you know, not super powdery or anything. I didn't get any fallout, despite the fact that I was stamping, which sometimes with certain shadows, you can get quite a bit of fallout when you stamp. As you can see, my under eyes and the rest of my face is clean of any fallout. I think for $30, this is a $30 quality formula. Of course, I always advise you to wait for a sale, so of course, if you can get it on sale, I think you definitely should, but I think this is a really high quality formula. But with that, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you liked my review of the Sugarpill Fun Size palette. Again, I know I was calling it the mini color palette before, but that's what it says on the front. Oh my god, I am literally the silliest person on earth that says fun size right there. I was so distracted by the little cat that I didn't even notice it does say fun size right on the palette. But yeah, I hope you liked this video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single one of my videos all throughout Vlogmas. I have so many exciting videos planned for December, but thank you so much for watching. Check out the description box for all of the other makeup on my face today. Also in my description box, I will have a bunch of Black Lives Matter resources to support the Asian American community, and resources to support the LGBTQ+ community. Those resources are available in every single one of my description boxes, and I highly recommend you check them out if you haven't yet. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!